Hey everybody. Okay, I'm gonna try to record a little video for y'all and hope that you cannot hear the Trolls movie playing in the background too loud. So this week we're kind of starting to do something new with mean, median, mode, and range. So I wanted to kind of show you guys me working some of these out because I think that will help you. So I've got a set of numbers here. And the first thing we're gonna do is we're gonna talk about mean. And mean is really just another word for average. So when you think about mean, you can think about, for example, how your grades are calculated, where we add them all up and divide by how many there is. So if we look at this set of numbers here, if we're going to find the average of this set of numbers, or the mean, the first thing we're going to do is we're going to add all these numbers up. So we've got 4, 0, 12, 5, and 4. So I am just going to add them all up, or you can add them two at a time, however you want to do it. Okay, and I know that 4 plus 2 is 6, plus 5 makes 11, and plus 4 makes 15. I'm going to carry my 1, and 1 and 1 is, of course, 2. Okay, so my total is 25. Now I've got to go back in because the second step of finding the average or finding the mean is going to be to divide by the total amount of numbers that we added up. So if we look at this, my dog is barking at a squirrel in the background. That's what y'all are hearing. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 numbers. So we're going to do 25 divided by 5. Okay, and of course the 25 goes in the house. And the 5 goes outside the house. I'm sorry if this video is wobbly. I'm trying really hard to be still. And 5 times 5 is 25. Okay, so our mean for this set of numbers would be 5. Okay, now let's move on to median, which I think is in the first lesson this week. Okay, and we're just going to use the same set of numbers. Well, the first step for median, so median is like finding the middle number. And kind of the trick to remember that the median equals the middle is they're both words that start with M. They have the same amount of letters, and they both kind of have this D in the middle to kind of make you think median, middle. So the start to finding that middlest number is going to be to order these least to greatest. And when I do this, I always kind of cross out as I go so I don't get confused. So I'm going to go 0. My next smallest would be 4. And then 4. Again, 5 and 12. Okay, the reason we kind of cross off is just to keep us from repeating numbers or leaving numbers off. So now I have these in least to greatest order. You're looking for the number that is in the very middle. Now, if you have an odd set of numbers like we do here, we have 5 numbers, then the middle is going to come down to one specific number. If you have an even amount of numbers, then you're going to have 2 numbers in the middle, and I'll show you that in a minute. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're literally just going to cross them off of each end until we get to the middle. So here we go. 1 and 1. 2 and 2. And I'm counting to make sure I keep the same amount of X's on both sides because we don't want to have more on one side than the other. So once I cross 2 off of each side, I can see that 4 is the number directly in the middle. So that is our median. And yes, it is that easy. Okay, now let's do mode. So we've done mean, we've covered median. We're going to do mode. Okay. And the trick for mode is the number that you see the most. And kind of like median and middle, these words look very similar in that they're the same amount of letters. They both start with M. They both have M-O. So mode is going to be the one we see the most. So in this set of numbers that we had, we're looking to see if one number appears more than the rest of them, or even 2 numbers. So it's pretty easy to see on this one that out of these numbers, 4 appears twice, and it is the only number that appears more than one time. So 4 is going to be our mode. Now, it's also important that I tell you guys there is such a thing as having no mode, meaning if all the numbers appeared only one time, there would be no mode. It is possible to have multiple modes. So let's say, for example, if this had another 5 here, okay, then 4 and 5 would have been the mode, and you would have had to have listed them both. So that's mode, pretty easy. And then the last one that we're going to talk about is going to be range, and I'm kind of running out of room here, but I think I can fit it in. Okay, and the way I would normally describe this in class is by telling you we can look at a range of things. So for instance, if we were in class and we would talk about the range of ages in the classroom, well, we would range in ages from 11, which would probably be the youngest student, to 27, which would be your teacher. So if we're looking for the range in ages there, what we're going to do is figure out how many numbers fall between 27 and 11, and we can do that by subtracting. So here, with these numbers, if we're looking for the range, we're going to pick out the biggest number and the smallest number, and we're going to subtract them. And we can see here the biggest number is 12, the smallest number is 0, and when we subtract 12 minus 0, we get 12. So yeah, there is the mean, the median, the mode, and the range for our first set of numbers here. And I'm going to do one more for this video, and then we'll make another one. Okay, next set of numbers. I mean, you guys would just really laugh at me over here. I'm over here using Apple Watch boxes for my phone stand. Okay, so let's start again with our mean, which is like our average. Okay, a silly little trick to remember the average is a lot of you think that your grades are mean. They're mean to you. Teachers are mean for giving you grades. So you can remember that mean. Think of meanie grades, okay? And it will help you think of your average, which is how your grades are calculated. So again, this one is going to be calculated by adding them all up and dividing by the total amount of numbers. So let's go ahead and do that. 4, 8, 6, 8, 0, 2, 4, and 10. Okay, 4 plus 8 is 12. 12 and 6 is what, 18? And then 18 plus 8 is 26. Plus 0 is 26. Plus 2 is 28. 28 and 4. There's 32. Carry my 3. 3 plus 1 is 4. So I've got 42 is my total of all my numbers added up. And then I'm going to go back and I'm going to count how many numbers I added together there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. So I've got 8 numbers here. So when I take 42 and I divide it by 8, let's see what we get. I know 8 times 5 is 40. That leaves me with 2, so I'm going to add a decimal and add a 0. Bring it down. 8 will go into 22 times. 8 times 2 is 16. Add a 0, bring it down. And 8 times 5 gives me 40. And it is okay to have a decimal on these. So my mean is going to be 5.25. Okay, so let's move on to the median or the middle. And I'm going to rewrite these numbers. Sorry about that movie playing in the background. I sent my boys to their room to watch a movie while I did this video. Okay, so if we're looking for the median, the first step again is to order these least to greatest. So let's start with the 0. Then I see a 2, and a 4. Then I see another 4. That's why marking them off is important so that you don't leave any out. Then I've got a 6, an 8, another 8, and a 10. Lots of numbers this time. Okay, so when I am looking for the middle, I'm going to start marking off on either end until I get to either 1 or 2 numbers in the middle. So here we go. 1 and 1. 2 and 2. 3 and 3. Okay, I can't go 4 here because I won't have a 4th one to mark off on this side. So we're going to leave it like this. And because there was an even amount of numbers in the beginning, remember there were 8 numbers total, I'm going to have 2 numbers in the middle. Okay, don't get confused by this. All you're going to do is go back and average these 2 numbers. Or if you can kind of look at these 2 numbers and tell what number falls directly between them. For example, I know that directly between 4 and 6 should be 5. Okay, and if I average them up, I can double check that. And I'm going to do that by saying 4 plus 6 is 10. And 10 divided by 2, because I added 2 numbers, is 5. Okay, so that's how you would find the median when you have 2 numbers in the middle. And yeah, that's the median. And then let's go to mode. Mode, again, is the number we see the most. So I'm going to write them one more time. 4, 8, 6, 8, 0, 2, 4, and 10. And I see that I have 4 twice. But I also see that 8 is written twice as well. Okay, all the other numbers are written 1 time and only 1 time. Now, if one of these had been written 3 times, that number would be the mode. But for this example, 4 is written twice and 8 is written twice. So both of these numbers are the mode. So the mode would be 4 and 8. And you have to list them both to get it correct. And then the range, or the difference, is again the biggest number minus the smallest number. Our biggest number in this set of numbers was 8. And our smallest number again was 0. And 8 minus 0 gives me 8. Ta-da! Okay, I can only record so many minutes per video. So I'm going to go ahead and stop this video and upload it. And then I'm going to make you guys one more video with 2 more examples. So look for that one as well.